We are in the final stages of gluing in detail on this crab, and in the greater context of the class, which is about miniatures and pop-ups, we are exploring the ways that things will tuck down into a tiny little space, literally 3 inches on a side. There we go, not quite. And so starting from small, book size, small, and then looking for ways to get things big and to reach beyond the edges and to get lively and dramatic and exciting. So we're in our last stages where we're gluing in the legs for our crab.
This movement is particularly appropriate for the animal. How do you sort of choose from all the different variations that could be possible? Sort of what's that process of choice making, I guess?
Right. And indeed, there's tons of different ways to approach something. And Ollie's wrapped her head around this pretty solidly, so she knows lots of different ways to think about it. And for me, there's a big portion of this that is related directly to the curriculum of the class, the structure of what we want to do. And I know that there's this one particular muscle, which is a white cardstock piece that tucks up here in the back, and it's what the eye stalks and the claws are connected to that's allowing them to rotate forward. Mine is definitely being a little fussy. That's rotating them forward. And it's a structural piece that we're going to revisit again shortly. And so this is kind of leading up to that. And so really the answer to your question on this one is, here's a set of structures that I know I want to include. What representational image can I apply to it that makes sense? Which is not the way you would do it if you were actually making your own book, because you're not going to make a book about structure, you're going to make a book about representational image. So you're going to match the structure to the image rather than the other way around. But she paid me a fine compliment in saying, look how perfectly your mechanism creates a sense of rotation and magic and reaching for it.
It's just, it's very kind of like, and it suits the personality of the image.
Yeah, and here's the cube. And, this piece, again, is configured very, very nearly in the exact same way as the one does for the crab. And obviously it's got the same motion to it in that it's rolling forward. And in this case, what it does for us is it creates a collapse in this direction for that cube rather than a collapse in this direction for the cube. You see how the difference? And this is the very same muscle that I used for, so this is the commercial version of the spread that's based on the handmade paper version that is right next to the QR code that you just scanned. And if you look at the Barky piece that's down here, it's that same configuration of folds, and so the stump is doing the very same roll. So structurally, it's exactly the same. It's just got more stuff on it. And alternately, if this were trapped, it could collapse this way, but if it does, it doesn't fit in the folio. So I can make everything just a little bit bigger if it does the roll as it collapses rather than doing the straight up collapse. Like that. There also, I think I mentioned this a moment ago, or a day ago, or a week ago. This structure gets heavy, and in order to rotate and lift the whole mass, I had to engineer in basically this little kick, which forces it to bounce up and start to roll rather than letting it be heavy and sag into the fold and remain down here as it would otherwise want to. Super simple mechanism, great results. And and then the added benefit, obviously, of pushing a big thing out towards the back of folio, and it leaves you more text space, more image space up in front.